Well, the weekend has come to an end, but we do not end things here. So today we're going to be reviewing, of course, from this past Friday, a very special Ring of Honor episode that was just recently uploaded on their YouTube channel, and it featuring various matches. So I can't wait to review this one. And then, of course, once again, as you know, I'm a little behind with New Japan. As you know, we just jump into day 8 and day 9. So on day 8, we're just going to focus, of course, on the last of the second round matches in the New Japan Cup, and then of course on day 9 the quarterfinals. So we'll see how things will progress from there. And then finally, as you know, we will cover from everything on AEW Revolution, starting from the 0 hour all the way to the main card through the main event. So we're going to go from all of it. And then as always, we have a very short news updates, of course, to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world of wrestling, it's not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got to do Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or nice comments in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers, let's get to it. So let's begin with a very special episode of Ring of Honor. Okay, Ring of Honor. This is a very special Friday episode that took place recently, and we opened up with championship match. We have the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team match. We have, of course, the challengers TMDK, Robbie Eagles, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols taking on Shane Taylor Promotions. Sean Dean and Carly Bravo, together known as the Infantry, they team up with Shane Taylor Promotions. Now, if you guys haven't remembered, not too long ago when Ring of Honor was in Australia, Captain Sean Dean was by himself and he lost a match against, of course, Robbie Eagles. And then later, Shane Haste, along with Bad Dude Tito, they had a match earlier, and Shane Taylor Promotions hasn't forgotten what happened. So they sent a direct message to them, and they said they didn't care who will be, but they won. And that's exactly what I mean. You got to remember, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols are former IWGP Tag Team Champions and New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. So they set it up right there. Not to mention Robbie Eagles is one half of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion with Costa Fujita. So anything could happen in this type of match. But of course, this one ended with, of course, a stomp by both the Infantry onto Michael Nichols, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, Shane Taylor is trying to prove the dominance within the Shane Taylor promotions on ROH. They're attempting to dismantle, of course, TMDK, but luckily the opponents for the infantry on Revolution showed up. Boom and Doom, QT Marshall, and Big Boom AJ Cabana, AJ, of course. So basically, we will see those guys sooner than later. Our next match, we have Persephone facing off against Jin Savina, Savini or whatever her name is. Yes, but obviously this match was going to go with Persephone, who is well recognized in the wrestling world. Not to mention the current CML Women's World Champion. Now dual contract. She was able to defeat her Jin with the Razor's Edge, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, of course, we did see a bit of a video promo of Boom and Doom, of course, sending a direct message to the infantry as they will face them in the 0 hour at Revolution. So we'll see what happens there. Now, our next match, we have Beef taking on one of the most dangerous men ever, and of course, one of the founders of La Facción Ingobernable, Rush. Now, of course, Beef, he's not afraid of any fight, but when it comes to Rush, he loves to fight, he likes to beat up people, and that's exactly what he did. He applied, of course, the bullhorns onto him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we got Serpentico taking on Wheeler Yuta. Now, Wheeler Yuta, as you all know, he lost his hair thanks to Tony Storm, so he decided to try to embrace the young lion way. Basically, he stripped down of his gear to a much lighter one, more like the young lion style, and that's exactly what he did. But he was able to use his moves by applying the seatbelt once he took out Serpentico, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next match, we have KM taking on Ace Austin of the Bang Bang Gang. Well, of course, Ace Austin was going to pick up the win because he applied the fold, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next time we have Camilla taking on Marina Shafir. Well, you can guess this match ended with Marina Shafir, of course, as a warm-up to when she faces Tony Storm with the mother's milk, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our main event, we have, of course, RPG Vice, Trent and Rocky Romero teaming up with MXM Collection. Rocky seems like he's getting into the whole vibe of MXM Collection, but not Trent. But they're facing off against Top Flight, of course, Dante and Darius Martin, members of Skyflight. They team up with Ortiz and Eddie Kingston, and I thought the match was pretty good. Of course, Trent was not getting in that whole vibe of posing with MXM Collection, except for Rocky, of course, who is enjoying it. But, however, that didn't do any well for him because Ortiz took out Mansoor with the big splash, and just like that, 1, 3, over. Just like that. So, you guys should check it out. It's free. You can check it out on YouTube, so do that right now. But right now, let's move on to our next review, which is, of course, Day 8, and we're focusing on the second round matches of the New Japan Cup. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Day 8 of the New Japan Cup, and this happened on the 14th of March at the Nagoya something Pier Arena, of course. Let's focus right now on these. This is the last of the second round matches. First, we have Yujiro Takahashi taking on Shota Umino. Now, for those who may not remember, there's a brief history between them, of course. As you know, Yujiro Takahashi was trying to earn the respect of Shota Umino's dad, who many of you know him as Red Shoes, who is the referee of New Japan. Yeah, he's the same Red Shoes you see with the Red Shoes, and in the past he had his little run-in towards the Young Bucks in the past. So the very same one, and that kind of sets it up like their past. Now, when it comes to Yujiro, you all know he is a member of the House of Torture. Basically, he'll try to find ways to do dirty tricks. Now, things were going normal at first until he shoved Shota Umino towards the referee, and that gave enough time for the House of Losers to make their presence known. They tried to beat him up, but of course, that did not go according to plan. Things worked perfectly well for Yujiro, but it was Shota Umino that walked away with the win when he applied the final chapter, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he advances to the next round. Now, our next match, well, this is a bit of a master versus student TMDK showdown. If you guys don't know who I'm referring to, we're talking about Rohei Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, this is where, of course, Rohei Oiwa has to put his feelings towards Zack Sabre Jr. to the side, knowing too well not only he is his friend and mentor, but he's his opponent. He has to think of him as his opponent, and that's exactly what he needs. Zack Sabre Jr. even mentioned that he sees a lot of potential in Rohei Oiwa. He does see him that he will be championship material. But to prove that, Rohei Oiwa has to stand that he can last longer against, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. And that's exactly. If you guys don't remember, these Rohei Oiwa along with Kosa Fujita did help Zack Sabre Jr. to play mind games towards evil when the ROH World Television title was established, and that kind of sets it up right there. And that's exactly what he did. And of course, there was no holding back. I mean, you can tell Rohei Oiwa wants to defeat Zack Sabre, not just because he wants to win the cup, but prove that he is worthy, to become champion. But unfortunately, Zack Sabre Jr. was able to defeat him with the Zack Driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So basically, Zack Sabre Jr. advances. So we'll see what happens in the quarterfinals. Now, since I made this short, let's move on, of course, to the next one, which is day 9 of the New Japan Cup. Okay, we continue with, of course, day 9 of the New Japan Cup. Now we're entering, of course, with the quarterfinals. So basically, we will have possibly, what, 2 more matches? I'm not sure. But yes, we'll go from the 2, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. This is the recent show, and it happened in Yamaguchi, of course. We opened up. Well, we have, of course, Bolton Oleg versus Ren Narita. Now, obviously, when it comes to Ren Narita, we know exactly the kind of things Ren Narita operates. As you all know, he is the leader of the House of Losers. Of course, they would try to find ways to cheat to get to the top, and that's exactly their primary goal: to cover New Japan in darkness, which is something, of course, evil want but unable to achieve. But however, in this case, they did attack Bolton Oleg before the bell rung in hopes it can soften him up in order to get the advantage. But it did not do any well. But once the ref was out, well, as you probably can guess, these losers just showed up out of nowhere and tried to take down Bolton Oleg. But however, unfortunately, thank God for Huntai for showing up to take out the trash, what we needed, of course, the most. Now, of course, Renny Ritter possibly would have thought things would have gone a lot smoother, but he should know he pissed off a lot of people, and that's exactly what happened. But in the end, Bolton Oleg was able to defeat him when he applied Kamikaze, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. So, I can say that possibly no House of Losers are remaining in the tournament. So we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, this is one of those big matches. Yuya Uemura faces against a man who, as you know, has made a name for himself, and he is one of the strongest wrestlers we've ever watched, and that is, of course, Shingo. Now, of course, Shingo put on a lot of power to try to take out, of course, Yuya Uemura, but Uemura refuses to stay down. He is determined to reach the top and take it to new levels that not even, of course, the ace himself, Tanahashi, could able to do. And that's exactly what he intends to do. But it only took a moment, of course, for Uemura to have one moment to get the job done, and that is, of course, when he applied the deadbolt, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he advances, and just like that is over. So we'll see how things Uemura goes. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of anticipation on this tournament, so we'll see. But as of right now, we are done with New Japan. Let's move on to the much bigger show I think some of you are waiting for, and that is, of course, AEW Revolution. Okay, AEW Revolution. This is their latest show that they just had. So let's start with the 0 hour. Our 0 hour match begins, of course, with the infantry, Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, taking on Boom and Doom, QT Marshall, and Big Boom AJ. So basically, as you know, this was something that was cooked up, and there were some great moments. Big Rizzler was in fact kind of like looking into Christina XO, and of course Carly Brown was like, "Oh hell no!" Like he was like not enjoying that moment. But however, Rizzo got in the face of Shane Taylor after he decided to beat up Wayne Brady, and then of course Shane Taylor, being the punk that he is, shoved Sizzler. But well, Big Brother, of course, Big Justice took matters in his own hands and speared his fat ass down, basically teaching him a lesson. But, however, this match ended with, of course, the Boom Day device by, of course, both men onto Bravo, but it was AJ who picked up the pinfall, and just like that, boom, they picked up the win. Now, our next match is a TBS championship match. Willow Nightingale decided to defend her belt on this, defend two belts in one night. And this was one of those moments where you think, is she really doing this? I mean, isn't this a rational decision from her? I mean, Lena Cross, as you know, she will be facing her for the tag belts, and that's one of the things that we know. But of course, Willow was being manhandled by Lena Cross, but as you know, recently we did see the backslide been in effect many times for Willow Nightingale, and that worked in her favor once again. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But however, the initial attack happened by Megan Bain, and just like that, even Harley Cameron tried to intervene. But the real question is, how is her injury with the shoulder that she obtained in this attack will be? Well, we don't know, but yes. Now, our last match of the 0 hour is the AEW National Championship in a 20-man battle royale. We had guys like Tommaso Ciampa, Rocky Romero, Daniel Garcia, Jungle Jack Perry, and of course the current champion Ricochet. But however, Ricochet lost what he thought would have been his backup to ensure the belt stays rightfully where it belongs. Apparently, the referees had to tell, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I'm referring to Tail Leona and Bishop Khan, that they are not allowed to be around. This basically kind of ruined their plans. But the one thing that was crazy, let's skip ahead how this match ended, of course, is how this match, Ricochet seemed like he was determined to retain the belt at any cost. He thought he had this match won, but he had Jungle Jack right in his sights until he somehow bid a Poison Rana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, well, not 1, 2, 3, he was outside of the ring because it was going to be on the apron, and just like that, it was over. He was eliminated, and leaving Jungle Jack Perry as the winner. And not to mention, he gets to celebrate with his mom and sister. And of course, Ricochet, there was a exclusive content on their social media how pissed he was that he lost. Like, he cannot believe it. I'm sure he's going to demand a rematch for that. So we'll see what happens till then. Now, our main card, we start with the AEW World Tag Team Belt. The Young Bucks, who are, as you know, considered one of the best tag teams in the world, were facing another team in that Madden. And not to mention, what I liked is the Bucks had the kids coming along as backup. And I did like the moment where Matt Jackson was getting a bit of a pep talk with his son about the whole thing. And of course, Nick Jackson was in fact really bleeding out. And not to mention, we finally now know that idiot Stokely Hathaway, he was faking. I knew that idiot was faking the whole thing all along. That shows us he's a snake. And that's always been the case. Not to mention, he did get involved, but thank God for Nick, he wiped them out. But it was not enough. Wiping out Stokely Hathaway is not enough to take him down. But, of course, they did every move that they possibly have until they applied an avalanche shatter machine on on Nick, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, FTR retained the belts. But however, well, let's just say justice is coming, or should I say revenge is in their path now. The return of Copeland and Christian. As you all know, Copeland's wife Beth was actually spiked pile drive by the FTR, and of course Christian showed up out of nowhere and helped them out. So basically, this is revenge for what they did, and of course, out of blue, Christian actually applied the kill switch onto Stokely, sending a direct message. But it seems now that Cope and Christian are aiming for the tag belts, but I don't know exactly how the Young Bucks would feel. But if I was the Young Bucks, let them have their moment. I mean, we all know what happened last time with them when it comes to personal, but we'll see. Now, our next match is Marina Shafir versus Circus Timeless Tony Storm. So, as you know, Marina Shafir had enough of Tony Storm for who knows how long. You know, she's been going at it with her countless times, back and forth, back and forth. And of course, this time it's more like Marina Shafir is determined to end it. And good thing that Death Fighters are not around. Neither is Mina or anybody in Tony Storm's side was there. But however, of course, I knew that Tony Storm was going to go vicious on Marina Shafir's feet because she wrestles barefoot, and that's one of the key points that people say, always wear your shoes. I mean, we have seen wrestlers wrestled without shoes before. But we did see the mother's milk being played out, but luckily Tony Storm was able to get out of it when she eye gouged the eyes of Marina Shafir, and then later she bit right in the, Marina Shafir's you-know-what right there. Basically, no one expected it, but it took an inside cradle for her to take her out. 1, 2, 3, it was over. While, of course, Tony Storm was celebrating the fact that she walked away with the win, well, Ronda Rousey showed up. I don't know exactly what was going on, but while this whole thing was happening, Marina Shafir got the last laugh by sucker punching her. And that where I think Mina Shirakawa has to come and play to help her out. Now, our next match is the AEW Continental Championship in a no time limit match. Now, as you know, Jon Moxley has one loss over Takeshita, and that was during the Continental Classic. Obviously, he feels like he needs to expunge that loss. But recently, there has been moments where Takeshita had lost for that belt. There was a tie and all of that. So basically, a match between them is going. But there was no automatic help from anybody from both sides. Takeshita with everything, but of course Moxley tried to take out the knees of Takeshita in hopes that this would weaken him. I mean, it kind of did. He even Moxley got kicked out of the Raging Fire, which was crazy. But in the end, of course, he put Moxley put Takeshita in a sleeper hold, and just like that, it was completely over. Ref's decision. So basically, and of course, Moxley decided to handshake Takeshita by showing respect. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Okada makes fun of him, but of course, Takesha's gonna do the same thing to him too, until you guys see what I'm gonna talk about. But however, when the Death Riders thought they had everything won, well, let's just say someone from Moxley's past decided that it's time to settle old debts, and that is, of course, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. Now, of course, Jon Moxley, I thought it was a joke, but later, it was no joke. He took him out, and he took out, of course, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia in hopes that show them that he is not coming, that he's coming for him, and he revealed the scar on his neck from the injury he obtained. And I wouldn't be surprised if Will Ospreay is aiming for the AEW Continental Championship. That's something I'm sure we can definitely see. But let's just wait and see what play, of course, the aerial assassin has in mind. Now, our next match is the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. Now, as you know, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne have established as a team. Now they're calling themselves the Divine Dominion. I have to say, it's a pretty good name. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think the Divine was used during when Megan Bayne teamed up with Micah. I think it was like the Divine Empress, something like that. I'm not sure, but yes. But of course, they were going to be aiming for Willow Nightingale's shoulder, which left a huge opening for them to use. And they were able to isolate a Harley Cameron away from Willow in hopes. And it was a double choke slam by both Lena and Megan Bayne onto Willow. And just like that, Lena pinned 1, 2, 3, new AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Now, our next match, of course, is Swerve Strickland versus Brody King. Now, Brody King, as you know, has declared himself not too long ago is one of the most dangerous men in the business. However, Swerve took offense to that, feeling like, "Oh hell no, you're not the most dangerous person because you say so. You have to demonstrate it by action." Now, we have seen how dangerous Swerve can be. I mean, look what he did with Hangman a couple years back, and anybody who stood in his way, and that says it all. But of course, Brody went through hell and back on this one. I mean, he kicked out of the Swerve Swamp and all that, but it took a couple of house calls for Swerve to take him out, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, during the post-match, well, let's just say that Swerve was going to take out Brody King permanently by using a cinder block, which we all know is not the first time something like that happened. But thank God for Kenny Omega that made the save. So you probably can guess that this feud between them is far, far from over. Now, our next match is the AEW Women's World Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls. Tekla defending the belt against the former champion, the one she defeated for this belt, Chris Statlander. Now, of course, the first fall goes into Tekla after she applied a bridge, but she used the ropes as leverage, as assistance to ensure she takes the first fall. However, the second fall goes to Statlander when she applied the Saturday Night Fever, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, third fall, well, all hell was breaking loose on this one. I mean, we did see Tekla being tossed like a rag doll, and of course, the ref was taken out at some point, and Tekla was using the ref's belt for a chance to weapon, but it backfired when, of course, Chris Sandler stopped her. Not to mention, the other members of the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart and Scott Blue, showed up, but thank God for Chris Sandler that saw that coming. But of course, she was about to wipe her out some more until referee Paul Turner got involved and stopped her. But this cost the match for Chris Statlander, and it took a couple of stomps by Tekla to take her out, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match is for the AEW World Trios belts. We have Jet Speed teaming up with the man, the myth, the legend, Mystico, taking on Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis against Okada. Okada. As you know, this was one of those matches where Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight have to get these belts back because, of course, last time they lost it in a way where they did not anticipate MJF to get involved. But the match was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie that. But the one thing that was insane was the distance of what Kevin Knight did when he applied the UFO splash onto Mark Davis. It seems like you're not sure if that was the case, but luckily he was able to pull off the distance, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match is Andrade El Idolo versus Bandito. I have to say, this was one of those matches where Bandito, who mentioned that he has always admired Andrade back in Mexico, now he's facing someone he has looked up to. But the thing is, how is he going to defeat this guy? That's exactly the thing. I mean, I have to say, Andrade was smart enough to set up traps for Bandito in every way possible to ensure the win, and that's exactly what he did. But it took an avalanche DM for Andrade to put away Bandito after every move that he tossed at him did not work. And just like that, the Avalanche DM, 1, 2, 3, over. Our next match is a bit of a Tornado Trios tag team match. We have Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Roderick Strong taking on the Dogs. David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors. Now, this match was going through craziness. There was a lot of toys being used. I mean, weapons, all these things in order to take each other out. We did see Darby Allin got, being hanged, like, let's say, dangling, tied up around the neck in order to keep him away from helping his teammates. And of course, Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy had to do their best they can as possible. I mean, we did see Orange Cassidy used as a weapon by Roderick Strong, which was kind of interesting. But we did see that Darby Allin was free. Then Darby was able to tie up Gabe Kidd on the other side. That way he picked up the win. But it took only, of course, the end of Heartache by Roderick Strong to take out, what's his name? Connors, but it was OC by, of course, toss of Roderick Strong to pin him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Our next match is our main event, which is the AEW World Championship match in a Texas Death Match, which is, of course, Hangman Adam Page's wheelhouse. Not to mention MJF dressed up as Terry Funk, someone who is very familiarized with this type of wrestling. And, of course, MJF is trying to avoid. My favorite moment, of course, is when MJF tried to run and Hangman had the lid of the trash can. But what's funny, it was more like a Tom and Jerry segment, and he whacked him with the trash can lid, and he tells him dumbass. Basically, he didn't think because he was running it, and Hangman realized it's just another game to him, so he's gonna wait on the other side, and wham, just like that. But man, we saw like certain repeats what we saw back then during when Hangman faced Swerve, and that's one of those moments that I'm sure many people have criticized. But it was more what MJF had no idea what he got himself into, but he was able to defeat Hangman by hanging him literally with the chain, and just like that, ref called it, and that means Hangman does not get another opportunity ever again. So that's how things end. But the real question is, who's going to be the next person to take out MJF? I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Don Callis family make a play for it. That's something I'm sure could happen. Or Ricochet, I don't know. But we'll see. But as of right now, we are officially done with our reviews. Let's move on to some news updates. Okay, welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, as you know, we will have the Joe Janela Spring Break taking place on the 17th of April in Las Vegas. However, Effie will be challenging against Allie Katch, her own Boosie partner. Well, apparently there's a stipulation that said the loser leaves GCW, which is gonna suck for one person. And then, of course, we have the Natural Born Killers, a show that's usually produced by Killer Cross, and it's always done in the same place where Future Stars of Wrestling takes place. They just announced TJP will be participating. Now, also on the upcoming events, I don't know if I do have any Natsupoi fans out there, any of my subscribers. Well, if you guys are planning to go to Las Vegas, well, this is your chance to see her. Apparently, 2 promotions have already announced that she will be participating in their events. The first is Pandemonium Pro Wrestling, that will happen on the 15th of April, and this will be her debut event. And the same thing goes with Spark Yoshi Puroresu of America for Lady Luck 2 on the 19th of April. So both shows are debuts. So if I do have any subscribers who are big fans of Tsupoi, well, get your tickets now so you can get a nice closer look of the fairy, the Cosmic Fairy, of course. Now, on to some developments. Fightful Selects revealed Tetovic. If you guys remember, she was part of that 6-woman tag team match involving the Triangle Madness and AEW Collision. Well, Fightful Select reports that now she's signed with AEW. I'm not sure if that's if it's true or not, but I would say that maybe she's going to be appearing in Ring of Honor. That's something I could definitely see. Now, Joshi Legend, many of you know her, Manami Toyota. Well, apparently she talked about something very interesting. Those who may not know, she was part of the All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling promotion. That's the name of it, All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling. She revealed that she was receiving offers from WWF, now known as WWE, about coming to their shows, and she was fully unaware of what was happening. This is something from an interview that she mentioned. Let me pull it up for all of you. And this is what she said. This is what from Sports Graphic Number article said. Toyota stated she wanted badly to go overseas. However, All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling kept stating that they would never uh, tanker without her. Eventually, All Japan went bankrupt. Toyota was getting offers all over. However, AJP kept turning down those offers, especially WWF and WWE. They shut it down fast, and Toyota was left in the dark. Now, this is what she had to say about that. That's right. I wanted to go to the USA, but I kept being told that All Japan Pro Wrestling will be in trouble without you. Apparently, there were offers from overseas, but All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling turned them down on their own. I haven't heard about that either. I found out later that the offer came in, and I regret it so much. Yeah, so this is one of those promotions that don't want to lose one of their top wrestlers. I mean, as you all know, she's currently retired due to injuries, and now her niece, of course, also using the same name. I think it's Sayaka Toyota, I believe. Let me look it up again. Because I know she has a niece who's also a pro wrestler, and I've been watching her recently. So, yeah, her name is Sayaka Toyota. Yeah, she's also a wrestler too. Using the same name. But of course, injuries on Manami Toyota really put her down, and she will if she was unaware. I mean, we know there has been instances where some promotions don't want to lose their top wrestlers. Like for example, All Japan Pro Wrestling when it was run by Shohei Giant Baba. Giant Baba was, in fact, totally unaware about WWE. I mean, there have been some offers that were offered to the wrestlers there, but of course, Giant Baba turned them down. Like, not because he was being like foolish or being like saying, "Oh, they trying to turn them down." Like saying, "Dude, we don't even know who you guys are," because of course, all Japan was not aware of what goes on in the rest of the world. But I don't know if it's the same thing, but unfortunately for Manami Toyota, I feel bad for her that she had to go through that, but it is what it is. So hopefully, we'll see how things go with her niece, as you know. But yes, so let's call it a day. Well, that's pretty much it for our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Coming up, I am consider doing the Stardom finals of the Cinderella tournament. See how things will go. There's also some Choco Pro events that just recently came out. I may do that too. But we'll see how things go for the rest. But as of right now, that's the initial plan at the moment. Hopefully things go according to plan. But if not, I apologize. But we'll leave things as it is. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.